The worst player on the pitch. He conceded possession so many times. Couldn't make a 5-yard pass. He slows out on the turn. You'll never guess in a million month of Sunders who's put the name in the hat for the Sunderland job. In this video, we're going to be talking about KLD, Speakman, the model, what went wrong against Swansea, and also a new managerial appointment. But before we get on with the rest of the video, you know what I'm going to say. Hit the thumbs up on this one and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Road to 10k. Where to start? There's so much to talk about. I tell you what, not positive, funny. Alex Neil, remember him? Alex Neil, he's tossed his name in the hat. Remember Sheffield Wednesday playoffs, remember Wembley. Some of the best experiences of my life supporting Sunderland. And you know what, he did a decent job. He's put his name back in that hat, according to Alan Nixon, who's a sort of credible source. He does get things wrong. He's got 130,000 followers on Twitter. He has said that Alex Neil will be open to rejoining Sunderland. Now, I remember the way he left. And a lot of fans sang a certain song at Alex Neil for a number of weeks. It was a bit of a kick in the teeth the way he left, so I'm not too sure about that one. I'll leave that down to you. What do you reckon about Alex Neil? Comment below and let us know your thoughts on that. Would you be happy with him coming back? Now then, that brings us on to the managerial appointment. I think it should be done within the next couple of weeks. Yes, I'll back Dodds, I really will. And Sunderland supporters, I know they will. They sang his name within the first couple of minutes at the Stadium of Light. Credit to Dodds though, he did put his hands up and said he got it wrong. Obviously, he tried too much, didn't he, at the beginning? He tried changing formation throughout the first half a number of times. The players looked lost because of it, in my opinion. But he held his hands up, so credit to Dodds, and he said he got it wrong. And now that's a refreshing change. He didn't pass the blame on to anybody else. He took responsibility for that one. Now, we can sweep that under the rug and move on. And hopefully he rectifies them problems for the next game. But that does bring us on to the managerial appointment. The reason I want it to happen sooner rather than later is simply because the new man can have enough time from whenever he does get appointed till the end of the season to say who's good enough, who's not, who should be shipped out, and who should keep the positions, basically, where he thinks needs strengthening, etc. Oh, that's just come to us. Then again, it's the model, isn't it? The model. It doesn't really matter. He hasn't got a say on that, has he? Alright, well, regardless of when they come in, they've got to stick to the model, haven't they? And the model at the minute, in my opinion, isn't working. Simple as that. The model, I really do like the model. I do. I love these exciting young players coming in if we kept the experience. The board fucked it the second they got rid of the experience. The second they got rid of Bott. The second they got rid of Pritchard and Gooch. That was it. We've been struggling ever since. In my opinion, we have. Tony Mowbray alluded to the fact that we're desperate for a striker for God knows how many windows, and they refused to listen to him. Now it's clear and evident to see we are struggling up front. I said this at the start of the window. I remember Stephen saying, no, he thinks we'll get goals, and it's just been proven that we're struggling up front. Clear as day. Now, I know Ruson's chipped in with one, Burstow's got one. I think Russo might have two, but it's still not good enough. It really is not good enough. We need an experienced striker where you can get goals, basically. And we haven't got that on the pitch at the minute. Yes, I know, and I have said for numerous times, get service into them. But I tell you what, we were putting some good balls into the box yesterday, and there was no on that. Because Rusin is 5'9". He's not going to win out in the air, really, is he? Let's be honest. I think we would see the best out of Rusin if we went two up top and he worked off of Mia. Because the 5 minutes of Mia was on the pitch, he won so many flick-ons. He done really well for that short period of time, and I do believe there is a player there. Just the board and the staff have to, head coach Dodds, have to trust in Hamia. And I really do think if we get good service into Hamia, he will score goals. But that's the thing, we're not playing him. Now that brings us back to Danny Bott, your player of the season. You didn't reward your player of the season with saying, all right, mate, you can go and look for a new club. No, you give him a new contract. I didn't care if it's not working for Norwich. In the Sunderland squad, it was working. And he was D and mint. So what do? You give the lad a new deal. He was the player of the season. Gooch, yes, I do understand why they did move Gooch on. He wasn't getting enough game time. But when we are struggling in game, Gooch would have been an ideal substitute to come on and give that vital experience to these young players in game. Same with Pritchard. My God, Pritchard was one of our best players for me. He was. He really was. Up there, like, I'm not saying he's up there with Clark, but, you know, you look to your experience in game, and Pritchard was one of them, especially further up the pitch. And we're struggling now. We are struggling. Taking it back to the recruitment, Mowbray, he asked and asked and asked for a striker. They never delivered for him. And his form started to drop off because of that. And it was clear to see, yes, people say it was the right decision, and inevitably it was because the form was terrible, 2 wins in 9. But you could put that down to recruitment as well. These young players, let's be honest, these young players are unknowns. They are unknowns. I think it's only Styles who had championship experience out of all of them. Correct us if I'm wrong. I might be missing one other one. So they have been unknown players, and we've trusted so much in these unknown players to be hitting the ground running. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Most of these players haven't even had minutes, and they've been tossed into the deep end in one of the hardest leagues in English football, and being told to swim. All right, tossed into deep end, now swim. And it's catching up with them. And I think it's catching up with them because of the lack of experience. We were riding a wave of Wembley last season, and we're overachieved and we're done absolutely outstanding. But I still also believe we were only 2 or 3 players away from an outstanding, exciting team. We had pundits worldwide talking about Sunderland and how exciting football is. We were turning eyes of, young players in the Premier League who want to come to Sunderland because of the football we were playing, and that they will be given that opportunity. But the board fucked up when they got rid of the experience, and we are struggling because of that. You need a blend of experience. I'm all right with the model if you've got the experience, because the experience helped develop them younger players. And in game, when things are not going right, the experience get around the pitch and guide them through the game, and that's clear. I thought that, with the board and it being their job, and I'm just a nobody, and this is just my opinion, taken as a pinch of salt, I thought the board would have understood that. But no, they've literally shipped out all the experience. We're not getting relegated. Nowhere we're getting relegated. Even if we lost, I reckon even if we lost every game at the end of the season, bar one, and like I say, we picked up another 3 points. Last season, 49 points kept you up by a couple of points. So for me, we're not getting relegated, but our season's just fizzled out. We were there, and all they had to do was twist and bring in some experience, but they didn't. They've done this last season and it paid off, and I think that's what they thought was going to happen this season. I remember doing a video in January last season saying the board have to stick or twist. Now, they sort of got away with it because they still didn't recruit well. They still didn't bring in a striker. We still had Ross Stewart out injured. Ellis Sims was out injured. But we had Amad Diallo, and we have not got that player this season. And for me, hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully I can, have egg on me. Oh, what's it? Egg on me face. What's the saying? Basically, I hope I'm wrong come the end of the season, and I hope we win every game till the end of the season and be proven an absolute tit. I'd love no more, but I just can't see where a win's coming from. I really cannot. Now, the next 3 games, we've got Leicester, we've got Norwich, Leicester, Southampton, then QPR. People are saying, can you not see us beating QPR? Like, well, how's it went for Sunderland every other time we've played teams down the bottom half of the table? It hasn't went well. Minus Norwich, minus Plymouth, and maybe Stoke. But we were lucky against Stoke. We got away with it. We were terrible against Stoke. And the first half against Plymouth, we were diabolical again. But we're just lucky. We really were when you look at it. If Stoke and Plymouth were clinical in the first half, they would have been out of sight. And we would have struggled to get back into the game. Birmingham, Huddersfield, Swansea. Who else? I'm probably missing a few others. We do tend to struggle down with teams down the bottom half of the table. So for me, I'm not optimistic about the next 4 games. Please prove us wrong, Dodds. Please prove us wrong, Sunderland. Because there's no more than I would love to get into that top 6. Now, are we ready for the Premier League? You're never ready. You're never, ever, ever ready. Look at Burnley. Burnley, everybody said they were ready. They steamrolled the Championship. They've done really well. All right, course, they'll crack on. They're getting battered every game. But the payments, what we will receive when we come down, will stay us good for the next season. Because look at Leicester and look at Leeds. Now, I predicted them two to get first and second, and that's what's happening at the minute. Southampton's digging all right as well, so they're where they should be. So for me, there's never a right time to go up. If we do go up, I'll love it. Premier League days, Derby days back. But is that going to happen? No. I think the season's petering out. And I think as much as it kills us to see it, because we're only, 5-6 points off the top six, and there's so many games to play that I think we're going to be finishing where we are, about 10th. And that'll kill us to say that. But looking at it on the pitch against Swansea, where we're shocking. Bellingham, probably was the worst on the pitch. Now he's just getting burnt out. Week in, week out, Sunderland supporters are saying he needs resting. And he's only 18, he's very young. He hasn't played this many games in his life. But we're deciding to do what we've done against Dan Neil under Lee Johnson. Just play the life out of him. He'll be all right. Now he's suffering. Stop playing him so much. Look how he performed when he got benched. He came on and got a goal. Now just leave him out. He needs resting. He was the worst player on the pitch. He conceded possession so many times. Couldn't make a 5-yard pass. He slows out on the turn. He was shocking. Just digging Job out, there was a lot of players who were poor. Ekwa, 09, he was at fault for a goal. Passing the ball straight into Swansea players when Dan Neil was behind about 3 of them. Didn't get that. He's not a centre-back. I didn't care. He's not. Now, it just goes to show how reliant we are on Jack Clarke. It's crazy. Because I'm scared now, if Jack Clarke picks up another knock and he's out for a long period of time, we are fucked. We are completely fucked. There's no other ways about it. And then you've got to look at it further back. Ballard is just as important in the defence as Jack Clarke is gone forward. It would be unbelievable if he got injured as well as Clarke. Our season would be done. I'm laughing, but it's not like a funny laugh. It's a worried laugh. Because that's how it is with Sunderland at the minute. If one of them picks up a red card, we're ghost. But say for me, Dodds, like I say, he held his hands up and he said he got it wrong. Mundle, should have started Mundle straight away. Now, the system didn't work. It was clear as day. They tried to change it throughout the game, but it just pulled the players' aids, let's be honest. They didn't know whether they were coming or gone. It got changed that many times. We did improve in the last 10 minutes. Swansea were a miles better team than us in the first half. More energy, more tempo. They were just up for the game. Getting around the pitch quick, moving the ball better than us. And we were just shocking. Passing it so slow, round the back, up the front, bringing it out the back. It was just non-existent. And the reason we're digging that is because we haven't got an outlet. We haven't got anyone with pace or burn. We'll put the afterburners on, sorry about that, and get him behind. Because Mundle was on the bench and he's the only player for me who I think can do that. Start him here, then you can start playing it long when teams are pushing on us. But we just did it. We played out the back. We're getting a fumble. Midfield was non-existent for me yesterday. And we just get counted every single time it was happening yesterday. It was a joke. But that's about it for me. Not that positive. I do apologise. I really do. I am sorry about these negative videos. But what can you do? Hit the thumbs up and subscribe. See you in the next video.